You're listening to WKDW Radio 97.5 and KDWRadio.com, broadcasting from the Bishop West Real Estate Mobile Tower right here in Northport, Florida. And I've got a very, very special guest in the house today, Mr. Mike Endee from STC. Mike, would you just give a quick overview of who you are, the position you hold, and what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, John, for having me on. Again, my name is Mike Endee. I am the Assistant Director at the Northport campus for Suncoast Technical College. Hopefully today we'll get to share a little bit about some new programming we're going to offer next year and talk about the great programs we already offer to the community now. And hopefully show people how to maybe get online and sign up and get enrolled for August and get started on a new career.
You know, I've done a lot of shows with STC. Of course, everybody knows who knows us and knows me. My wife is the nursing instructor at STC. And, you know, tell us a little bit about the foundation and why STC brings a lot of value to Northport.
Absolutely. So, you know, one of the most important pieces to a community is the workforce and those that work in our community. And Suncoast Technical College provides workforce training for many jobs around the community, whether it's, stuff in nursing like your wife teaches, or EMT, to carpentry and industrial tech, a brand new electricity program we're going to start next year so you can become an electrician, culinary. So a little bit of everything that people need to go work and be successful in their community.
And would you say that it's shooting for the mid to above mid range in salary?
No, absolutely. I mean, one of our big pieces is that you're going to gain entry level, mid to high range entry level salaries, which is considered like $16.50 or up. And I'll tell you, when I speak to a lot of employees, that's becoming almost low level. So a lot of employers are starting people out at $18, $20+ an hour because there's such a shortage of employees out there, hireable employees.
And what's the advantage to going to STC local here versus maybe trying to go to college elsewhere? I know that some students are destined to go to college, others are destined to go to technical college, and yet still make a great living.
You know, absolutely. I mean, it really depends on what it is that you're looking to accomplish. I mean, if you want to get into the trades, you're not looking to go to a 4-year university, take on all that college debt. There's only so many jobs. That's only about 30% of the jobs. 70% of the jobs out there are what we teach at our 2 campuses. So, if you come to us locally, we work with local employers. We know what they're looking for. We train students. So when they go work out in the field, they know day one a lot of the skills that our local employers are expecting. If you just walk in off the street to a local employer, you've had no formal training, you have no credentials, you have no industry certifications that we offer. The adult or high school kid that comes through our program is walking out with those credentials, ready to go day one on the job. And it's going to be way more value added to an employer than someone who walks off the street with no skill set.
Right. So there's less time for training on the job because now you've at least let's talk about the electrical program. And I noticed something about the hours, because you're sitting anywhere from 300 to 450 hours in practical usage, right? And so that component by itself adds a lot into a new employer versus somebody that walks in off the street.
So if you scroll up on our website a little there where you're on that and should go to those hours you're talking about, the new electrical program, which we're super excited to offer, we already have electrical apprenticeship at night. So that's people that are already out in the field want to become a journeyman. But if you want to get your foot in the door as an electrician, this is where you start. And you learn all the basics to be a helper, and then you go into residential and commercial electrician work. So, if you walk off the street and just go work for an employer, you may learn one skill set that employer has you do. But when you come to our program, you get all of that instead of just being trained one way that one employer wants you to do something. So your value added is just huge because then, you're marketable in many places, whether you want to go work for a commercial company like Willow Smith, or whether you want to work for, a local company like Bay Area Electric or something like that, where you're going to do maybe some more residential stuff.
Well, do you have, and I'm going to ask you this because I'm positive you do. Do you have the ability to talk with businesses out there in the community and kind of work around bringing certain programs into our area because of need?
Absolutely. I mean, that's how we choose courses. So when STC was built, we just finished 5 years already, which is crazy.
I didn't reach 5. Oh my gosh.
So when we were built and we decided the programs, that's what we look at. We look at what the local employers want. We talk to the city of Northport. We talk to county officials. We work with the economic development councils, the chambers, and local businesses to get input. What is it that you want us to have? Where is the greatest need? And then we bring in those programs.
Right.
And then we have another local technical college to our south. Plus we have our main campus. So, it's trying to offer programs that aren't already available if possible. And then, offer what we need in our community. And right now trades are booming. You can't drive down a street in Northport without 5 houses being built. So, carpentry and electric right off the bat are huge. Maybe down the road, we'll look at adding an HVAC program. We do offer an HVAC apprenticeship at night though. We've had, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the other piece we've had is we've had a HVAC fast track training. Even though we don't have a true HVAC program, we've done a helper program just to get someone with some entry level skills. Not as good as our full program to get a full education, but it's enough to get leap way ahead of the person that's walking off the street. So offered all sorts of those things to try and meet the community's needs.
How do the students feel coming into STC? And I'm gonna finish that by what do they feel like when they leave?
So, I mean, most of our students, I feel like are, one, they're excited coming in to learn about the career. Sometimes a little apprehensive though, because you get into, you walk into one of our shops, you're going to find out real quick that it's set up just like industry. So you're working with the real tools, the real machines. You go into my industrial machinery class, you're going to see 3 CNC machines and all sorts of high-tech equipment. You go into carpentry, you're going to see everything you see in a fine carpentry shop. So they're timid at first, but by the end of the shop, I'll tell you, our students walk around like they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they're very confident with the machines and the tools. If it's medical, they're very confident working with patients and administering medication and have good bedside manner. It's quite amazing all the transformation they make from beginning to end, from someone who really has maybe not a lot of idea to pretty confident in their abilities to go be successful.
Okay. What was the note, Carrie? I can't read it. I don't have my glasses. What was the question?
I had a student reach out to me and they want to know if we have a job placement program.
Do we have a job placement program? Carrie got a text message from a student and was asking if we had anything like that in line now.
So what we currently have, one is every couple of weeks we put out a local jobs report to all of our students. So local employers from all over give us a list of all the jobs that they have to offer. We work very closely with CareerSource. So if we have students that need placement help and soft skills and work on the resume and help them find jobs, we work with CareerSource, Suncoast and Southwest, because we're right on that Charlotte County, Sarasota border. So they help a lot with that. But typically when we have students in the field, when we have students in program, they find a job pretty quick, have an idea of where they want to work. They've had experiences at different places while they've been with us. Plus I get calls on a daily basis from employers. Say, hey, who do you have coming out of this program or that program? And I let the instructors know, and we try to connect students with those jobs. So, but if we had a student that was really struggling to find job placement, absolutely. We would work with our admin and our resources to help find a job for that student. And
I'm going to ask this because I'm in this day and age that we live in right now. I remember going out at 18 years old and trying to find a job, and you couldn't even get hired on at a restaurant. let alone anything else. Now we just have an abundance of jobs. I don't know that anybody who is truly looking for a job, you can't find one. Now, let me go on and preface that maybe what that person is asking for is a specific job, maybe a specific job in nursing or elsewhere. Can you guys assist in that manner if somebody wants to like fine tune their target?
Potentially. I mean, it all depends on their skill set. Sometimes students want to go right to the top of their field, and you got to remember, you're starting out. You've got to earn your stripes, so to speak. So, but as long as the job description they're looking for, they meet the criteria, don't have to have an advanced degree or a higher nursing level degree for Carrie's program or whatever, they should be able to get a job. I mean, like you said, you just have to be willing to work these days for the most part, and you can find most jobs. But when you come out with us and the training and the certificates and the endorsements, you should be getting higher pay than anyone else walking off the street, unless they just have years of experience that you don't have.
Right. And I'm going to say this because what you said was very valuable. A lot of people want to go into college, come out, even a technical college, go in and come out and be at the top. And I just want to kind of point something out. You have always been an administrator at STC, correct? You didn't do anything prior to that.
Not at STC, but to become an administrator in a school district, you have to teach. You have to go to college, be a teacher. Then you got to get your master's degree. You got to go through leadership training. You got to go through that training. You have to work as like a pseudo administrator in the office as a teacher. I mean, you have to go through the progressions. You just don't say, I want to be an administrator and just become an administrator. You have to have experience.
And there's some training and there's all kinds of things lining up for that too, right?
Absolutely.
So you took your college degree and became a teacher, and then still had to continue on and develop and mold yourself basically to get the job you have today.
Yeah, well, that's what we try to teach our students. A technical college, we try to think everybody is a lifelong learner. I mean, if you really want to be successful in life and you want to move up the ladder in any career, you have to continue to learn. You can't get one training and stop. If you become an electrician in this great electrical program we're going to have, you don't stop with the electrician program. You move on to electrical apprenticeship, and you continually, and then you continually look for new endorsements, new credentials, new certifications to earn to make you more valuable than the next guy. If you stop learning, you stop advancing.
This is kind of like a fast start to mid-range and above as far as salary. And I think that I know, I shouldn't say I think, I know that there are a lot of students that I've had the pleasure of talking with during classroom, after classroom, and post they're getting a job and advancing themselves. But the beauty is that a lot of them are, once they get their foot in the door and they find out truly what it's all about, and that I don't care what program you're talking, it's that first initial I want to do it can also get turned upside down. Maybe you don't have the skill set, and some people are not built for certain jobs. But in saying that, most people who graduate are already they're successful. First off, because they applied themselves, they went through the classroom, and they've had to take post tests in order to get credentialing. A lot of them, but there's a huge amount of them that see it for what it is and then want to go another level up. And I know you guys are actually talking about different programs advancing. You just said, the HVAC and different things like that. So you're not talking about the beginning level. You're talking about advanced stages of your career that you would take if you chose that profession, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, if it's a trade, you're going to move on to an apprenticeship, hopefully, and continue advancing your knowledge. A program like nursing, we have a very strong articulation with State College of Florida. So when you get when you earn your LPN, earn that NCLEX exam and get your LPN, your license, you can move on to work on your ASN or your BSN and move up the ladder. But what's great about that is usually you're working in the field. So most employers will pay for your college once you get our credential. And actually, some of our current nurses and past nurses, they were working as CNAs, and their employers paid for their LPN. So, it's definitely a great, like you said, starting point to get into a good salary. So instead of going to college and working for minimum wage and scraping by, you're actually in the career you want to be, doing what you want, and then advancing your education.
And there's value to add to that when you go into classroom, because that, first off, the classroom experience is awesome, but in any of the classrooms that you have, because you're learning pretty much straight off the street, and you're advancing right there to what you want to do, what you enjoy. When you look at some of the students that you have coming in, and I don't want you to judge, I want you to use your teacher, not your administrator. Are there students that come in the door when you first meet them, you just know that this is a stepping stone?
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, we're human, right? And we all judge, but we might watch students come in. Some students surprise you because you're like, wow, they struggle just to get through the application process. I don't know how they're going to make this through the program. And then they absolutely flourish. They get into something they love. They actually dedicate the time to it, and they become fantastic at it. Of course, we have students that come in and you're like, that person's going to be a rock star. And they sure are. And then, of course, you have students that have life events and things change, but, we try to help everybody through. And, one of the great things about coming to our school is you're not taking on a huge debt. And I know we're going to segue into that at some point, but that's a big piece.
What is it? Let's just take the electrical program. What's it cost to get involved in that now? And you don't I know you may not be able to be precise, but just give a ballpark of where most of these programs are.
Most of these programs run anywhere from a little over $5,000 to up to $8,000. Nursing is one of the more expensive. It's still one of the longest programs, and the books are super expensive. But electrical is right around $6,000, give or take a few hundred.
Well, and in the real world, when you're talking $6,000, that's the rate of pay that you get after graduation. If you had a student debt there, you should be able to pay it back just what you make over and beyond.
No, absolutely. Well, and then I try to tell everybody, don't let the money scare you, because you apply for your federal student aid, and we don't do student loans. So you get Pell money, and Pell money is money you don't pay back. If you make too much money, but your parents aren't helping you out or whatever the case is, we have internal scholarships. Career Source will sponsor you. There's all sorts of avenues that the average student pays little to nothing out of pocket. I have very few students that pay the full amount of the program.
Oh, and that there's something to be said about that, because that I've talked to a lot of the younger generation, and they don't want to accrue the debt that a traditional college may put on them. But there's some really good scholarships there too. So I don't want to discourage anybody from doing that. But at the same time, that instant, and it's pretty much instant, when you think turning your life around in 1 year, it's kind of an amazing thing to watch the growth of the ones who start the programs and the one who finishes. And whether you thought they were going to make it or not, once they get to the other side, you're kind of like, just you're the cheerleader now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're gonna, it's life changing. It's super fast. Most of our programs don't even only nursing goes over the summer. So most programs, even if you have to come back for a little while, we're going to hopefully hook you up with a job over the summer with somebody we know, with one of our local employers, so you get more experience, come back, finish up, earn your certifications. And like I said, once you move on from our programs, if you go to work for an employer, you're going to get paid your apprenticeship. You don't pay for apprenticeships. The employer sponsors that. You don't pay for the next level of nursing, because your hospital facility or healthcare facility is going to pay for your next level of degree. So
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back real quick. I just thought of something with the person who was looking for placement. If a student is needing placement or wanting to talk about that, aren't there counselors on site that they can go in and at least start the dialogue with?
Absolutely. So our counselor at our school, Jody, she's absolutely fantastic. She will take the time to make sure that if she's not aware of a job opening, that she reaches out to our resources that can help with that placement. So if you are willing to work, I have not known of a student yet that has not received a job that has graduated from a program.
Well, that's a big statement, Mike.
Yeah, no, well, it's a true statement. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, if you want to work, you come and you pass our program, there's no reason you can't have a job unless it's just some elite place that you're insistent on working at and it just doesn't have an availability. But I don't know of any employer currently that doesn't have an opening somewhere.
Well, and I don't know a business that's out there operating right now that doesn't have a need for someone.
Exactly.
So, it's the help wanted signs that are everywhere right now. It's just dumbfounding.
I spoke to a carpentry employer yesterday. He's doing fine carpentry out of Boca, all high-end homes. He is looking for a helper and apprentice, looking for one of our graduates. So I turned that over to my teacher, Bill, and Bill's going to reach out to some students he think may have some interest in an opportunity. And again, before they're even finished with the program, might even be a high school student that we have is going to maybe go get that experience working on high-end homes.
Well, and that matters. I'm in real estate, so the flip side of this whole thing is people who actually can finish carpentry. They're not a dime a dozen. They're just, there's such a need for that right now. It's knowing what to do, and just talking with you now, it's the value of like the apprenticeship side of things. I think people look past that sometimes.
No, I mean, we pushed, for the last 30 years plus, we pushed everyone, especially kids, you have to go to a 4-year traditional college if you want to be successful in life. And it's created a tremendous skill gap for our workforce. Now everyone's kind of flipping and seeing, oh, wait, these are great professions. That whole thing, don't work as hard as your parents. No, you need to work as hard as your parents. That's why your parents are successful.
Well, and that I liked how you put that, because it has been jobs have been labeled, and colleges have reaped the rewards for actually no jobs for decades. Students would graduate and not have a job and still have to go to work at the grocery store or other levels that they did not plan on with their college degree. And so I'm kind of glad that the pendulum is swinging, and I don't want it to go all the way back over again. We need it to kind of stay in the middle, because the happy medium is a great spot to be in for jobs on both sides. And the really cool thing is the income from those jobs, and we're a blue collar town here. And that's why I see the value of STC aiding into what we do here, because we are blue collar, we are individual owner responsibility, and there is a great need for that. And I think you're targeting, or STC is targeting that market to really kind of exploit where the need is.
Absolutely. I mean, that's our whole premise of existence. I mean, we are here to make sure that we're training people for our workforce, our local workforce, not training a student to go out and move to New York to do something. I mean, the job is here.
So I'm talking with Mike Endee at Sarasota, or at STC. Suncoast. I was thinking something else at the same time, but give the contact information for the school. Now, if you're listening on the radio and you need some help there, that's fine. But if you're watching on Facebook, I've got it scrolling along the bottom, so you can get that contact information. But Mike, go ahead and give the contact information out.
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, you can always hit us on our website. Google us at Suncoast Technical College, or just go straight to suncoast.edu. You'll find all of our information. You'll learn about all of our programs. Right at the top of our bar across the top says apply now. You can apply online, do everything online. Just come in for a final setup. We've tried to streamline everything and make it as easy as possible. There's links to financial aid and all of those things. Or you can just call us at the school or stop by. I mean, we are right at the corner of Toledo Blade and Cranberry, right as you get off the interstate of I-75. You can see us from the interstate. You can stop by anytime unannounced. We'll be happy to talk to you, show you what we have, guide you through the process. You can give us a call. Our number is 941-257-2252. I don't expect you to remember that, but if you just Google Suncoast Technical College, you'll find us. And we're always open. Over the summer, though, we are Monday through Thursday. That's just a sidetrack thing. The school district fully operates on 10-hour days, but we're there from 7 to 5. So stop by anytime Monday through Thursday, and we'll get you signed up for a program come August. All of our programs are starting August 10th. We have a new start date for every single program we offer.
And it's really a no fear approach, isn't it? Yeah, they can stop in just to find out information, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we welcome you in. Come on in and ask to meet with our counselor, ask to meet with me. If one of us are not available, you can schedule an appointment. Our front desk staff can guide you along the way and at least get you some information to get started. If we're available, we'll take you on a tour of a classroom you want to go see. I mean, we're here to help.
So culinary art is not operating in the summertime, are they?
No, it's good for my waistline too.
Well, and I was thinking the same daggone thing. So that it's one of my favorite lunchroom stops is to come over there and have lunch. I noticed that a lot of people are starting to engage in that and show up from not just inside the school, but in our community. They're starting to go there and recognize the value and the food quality.
Yeah, our Suncoast Bistro is amazing. So we do have a culinary arts program. So number one, if you're interested in becoming a chef, great place to start. Our chef has worked for Jack Nicklaus, the golfer. He's done his catering stuff. He's worked at some country clubs and some private places, and then now with us. I'm looking actually to hire a new assistant with him. Our current assistant got a teaching position at the main campus, which is super exciting for her. She brought a lot of value to the program, and she's definitely going to help out a ton at the main campus. But we started to get a lot of momentum just before COVID. And then when COVID hit, it kind of killed us for a short time. But this year the turnout was amazing. We put an article out in the paper, and I want to say we were serving, we couldn't even handle it. We had to go out to the store and get more stuff during service because we had so much going on.
And it's really a good thing, because having the community engaged that much actually kind of it exploits what the students need to have, which is a rush hour for lunch. So they're really learning on the fly how to keep up and how to keep tempo inside of that condition, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you walk into our facility, you notice right off the bat it's a first class kitchen. I mean, it's a nicer. I've been to many kitchens out there, and I've met with other places looking for our students, and our kitchen is state of the art. It's kept extremely clean. I mean, we teach our students how to maintain a kitchen. So, and then the experience to be able to actually come in and teach students real time what it's like to have a real service, cook under the pressure of having people lined up out the door, wanting fine cuisine. I mean, you can't beat it. There's no replacement for that type of experience.
So I want to slide into the EMT program for a second, because we actually have, I believe, 2 or 3 graduates that took the EMT course that I know of, and there could be more, that actually work for Northport right here. And I think we've got a couple that work for Charlotte County, correct?
Absolutely. If you stop and talk to a firefighter, EMT, paramedic in our area, whether it's local here in Northport, or whether it's Charlotte County or Sarasota County or any local division, police officers too, you're going to run into probably, I don't know what the actual percentage is, but I know it's high. I don't know if it's 60, 70, 80% that have gone through our programs. We have one of the elite fire training academies, one of the elite EMT academies. And then once you get through those, you can go on to paramedic. And that's usually sponsored by your local fire department. So, yeah.
Well, what's really cool about that is that while we all we kind of reap the reward of having a built-in referral system for police and fire. Those jobs that are there are nothing to laugh at when it comes to the salary and the benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at everything that all of those positions offer, I mean, they are all, like you said before, they build on each other. So most students start with EMT and then they move on to fire. And like I said, they get, if they want to become a paramedic, which is really where you start to increase your pay, that's there for you. I mean, we have it. It's in your community. You don't have to go anywhere for it. But you know, when our EMT students and even our nursing students, part of their class every time is going out and doing clinicals. So, you know, our EMT students are getting out to go out and do ride-alongs. So Northport Fire Department gets a chance to see Sarasota Memorial Emergency Room. They get a chance to see the student in action during clinical times before they ever even finish the program. So a lot of these students already have an offer in hand to go work at these places because the employers are impressed with them. They need the help, and they already know what the kid can do, or the adult kid. I keep calling them kids. Some of them are older than me. They're ready to rock.
We've got two notes from Carrie on students of hers, past students. I'll just say that Sheila Brutus was the SMH Venice May Nurse of Excellence.
Nice.
And she also said that Godric Moore is the first Northport STC LPN grad to get his RN degree from Florida, from FSW.
Yeah, and I believe he just finished up, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So
yeah, it's amazing.
The transition from it happens so quick. You just have to get your foot in the door, and that's where coming in and seeing us is probably the most important step you can make in life if you're looking to change your career or start a career. Because from there, it just takes off.
And you have to talk about those two and others, because you're talking about really jumping in, changing life, and it's a life-changing event. You're putting your time in, and these students didn't just pass; they actually worked at it. Then they went to work and they took more class and advanced on. The May Nurse of Excellence, that's not an easy thing to do, especially at a brand new hospital like SMH in Venice. You know, there's a lot of other nurses there, so
and they have a very high standard there.
Yes, they do. Carrie and I both work there, so it's one of my favorite hospitals. Most people know I had open heart surgery, and that's where I went. God bless Dr. Fong. He's the man. And David Patterson for hooking me up. But it's amazing the relationships that you build when you're there. I can't even imagine where these students are going to go at such a young age and being fired up about where they work and what they do for a living. I think the whole key to that, though, is are you happy? If you're happy in what you're doing, you're not going to not advance. You're going to advance. So pick the career field that you want to go into, and then exploit it. There's just so much opportunity out there right now.
Well, and when you look at Godric, great example. One of her great nursing students. He came in working a minimum wage job, maybe making $11, $12, $13 an hour. So he's been out 2 years, maybe 3 years tops. So within 2 or 3 years, he's going from $11, $12 an hour to making RN pay, and they're paying top dollar and overtime. You could probably make 60, 70, 80 plus $1,000 a year in a 2-3 year span. What college graduates coming out? They're still in school while this kid's coming out with no debt and making that kind of money in a career he loves.
And that's the whole key. And you know that he's driven. Sheila Brutus has to be driven. There's others that are driven, that are out there. John Mills just got a DON position at one of the nursing homes up in Venice, and just having those style students who are not just pushing the envelope, but pushing the envelope the right way and going forward in life, and realizing that their end game isn't just STC; it's so much more. And I think that if people gave STC a shot, just stop in, gather some information, take your student there. If your student is halfway fired up, just halfway, even a quarter, if they're interested in a program at all, get them involved. What happens with them at that point is truly going to be what the teacher instills in them immediately, and then the end game they see that they thought they saw when they first started talking about the program. Nursing, I've been involved in healthcare for 22, 23 years of my life. And I know for a fact, once you get in the door there, if you love nursing at all, you just go to another level because people around you support you every step of the way. So I can imagine that Sheila Buttress and Godric and John Mills and a lot of her other students, there's so many now that are out there that are doing really good things and staying focused and trying to move forward. That network of people really support that. Just like if you were to take the HVAC electrician course, the EMT, all of these things, once you're around people who have done it, you had mentioned that the fire department and the police department have a lot of people here that have come through STC. Imagine if you didn't have the reputation you had.
Yeah,
it's the school that they're coming to. It's the school they're talking about, and really, it's such a positive thing for the community.
And for us, it's all about that. I mean, we don't want our students to go out there and employers are like, "Where did you go to school? You don't know anything." I mean, we take a lot of pride in making sure our students go out, the employers work with us, we know what they need, what skills they need. The last thing we want is for a student to go out and not be prepared, and to, it looks bad for them, but it definitely looks bad for us. I mean, we want them to say, man, I wish we had more STC graduates. So we take a lot of pride in that. I mean, it's a huge piece of how we judge what we've got going on. I talk to employers all the time. We talk about our students out in the community. I mean, my executive director, Ron, he was in a car accident, and one of the EMTs on site said, "Hey, I remember you from STC when I was there." So it doesn't matter where we go in the community. When I go to Venice Hospital, I see our students that have gone through the nursing program working at Venice Hospital. You go to SMH, you see, I mean, you go out in the community, our students are working there. You go over to King Plastics, we have students that have gone through our industrial program there at King Plastics. I mean, they're just, we've been here for 5 years now. We're a small school. We're hoping to grow. I know the city of Northport is working hard with us to push to get our next phase of development at some point. But, our students are out there and they're working in the field and they're serving you and your community. So it's exciting.
So I'm going to approach this just a tad bit different. What would it be like for these students if we weren't here?
Well, we're not here. It's just as simple as it's not available. You have to you'd have to drive up Sarasota every day, or we have to hope that our technical college in Charlotte County has what you need.
I think that's the impact that people need to realize, is that you guys are there, but the reason you're there is to change the community and really to bring the salaries of these people that are taking these courses, bring them up at a much quicker clip, get them involved with an industry that's going to advance them, and really stabilize even our market here with the need that's out there now. Take that school away, and some people are going to find their way. The Godric's, the Sheila Buttress of the Brutus of the world, those people are going to find a way. But the students that drive up, knock at the door, come in and sit down and actually try to figure it out, that are here, work here, maybe have a child here, those are the people that you're targeting, that are life-changing events for those people and those families. And it's already difficult to live in Northport in this housing market that we're in now. If you don't advance yourself, you've got no chance. Even further down south, there's just no housing for the mid to lower homes anymore. There just isn't. And in the fact that you're here, I'm glad that we have support with the city of Northport. I'm glad that it's moving forward, but I want you to tell the public what it is to be you and try to encourage more.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, for part of it is frustration, because I want more yesterday. Because I know the jobs are there. I mean, people have to realize we're part of the Sarasota County Schools. We're not a private school. We're not a money-making school. We actually work at a budget deficit every year. So, this electric program we just got, I wrote a $404,000 grant for to make sure that we had it. And we expanded our one in Sarasota as well. Our rapid credentialing programs that we just offered for these fast track, quick 2-month programs we've been offering. We wrote a grant so we can get people trained for nothing. So we work hard. And I've, for me, it's been kind of exciting. I've written I think almost $1 million worth of grants in the last couple of years to know what impact that gives students. It goes right back to the community. I don't see any of it. I could sit at school and do, whatever. But to me, it's so important to get that for our community. And we work really hard to make sure that we have everything, any field you can think of available, whether it's our Sarasota campus or our Northport campus, over 40 different programs, 6 different fast tracks. Not to mention, we do have GED and ESOL. So if you know somebody who's coming in from another country, doesn't speak English very well, it's $45 a semester. And we'll help work on gaining your English fluency. Or if you know somebody that dropped out of school or came in from somewhere else and doesn't have a diploma, $45 a semester, you can work on getting your GED, because that's a huge start. And then once you're with us, we can transfer you into a program, or you can move on and do whatever it is that you want.
And the biggest thing is get started.
Yeah. But nothing stops there. I mean, that's the ultimate end game, is come into our doors and apply.
It's one of my favorite lines that I've used is, and every time you have to reignite your business or reignite things that you're doing, is get busy getting busy. And really, I love the line. I do it all the time. If you get busy getting busy and you have a goal in mind, STC is a great start to get busy getting busy. And really, it's changed so many lives that are directly connected with Carrie and I outside of nursing, with all the other programs that are out there. That you're right. When you go out into the community, if you go there for lunch, you're going to see the workers out there from culinary. The IT department, the business side, they're out there. LPN program, they're out there. The criminal justice, it's all there. And the industrial side of it, it's just amazing, the fact that we have this going on right here in our community. And I know for a fact, not everybody knows it's here.
Yeah. And we do quite a bit on social media. We get on iHeartRadio. We've been on Kicks Country. We're obviously on your show right now. Put it out on flyers. We've done mailers. I mean, we do everything we possibly can. Don't forget, we also have 650 high school students that attend the 2 campuses. Over the last 5 years, we average about 500 to 600 students that come through our doors just in Northport alone. 5 years now, that's 2,500, 3,000 residents that have been through our facility and our variety of programs that we offer. So it's just going to keep growing.
And and I'm going to ask you this because a lot of these students are getting into these classes and advancing, and before they even got out of high school, they've got some of this stuff under their belt, don't they?
Absolutely. So our high school students start junior, senior year. Most of our programs go 2 years. If you take nursing or industrial machinery, you might have to come back for a little bit after your senior year, but you're done like a month or two after your senior year. So yeah, they're coming through, they're going through programs. I'd say half of our high school students are going right out into the workforce. The other half are either exploring other options or they're going on to more education and continue. So now they have a skill set that they're going to more college with. So,
something to think about. As far as the community goes, and if you know of a student out there that probably isn't going to go to college, might be a junior in high school, might be a freshman, even talking about, hey, I want to do woodworking, I want to do carpentry. Get them over to STC and have them into the classroom. Once they get in the classroom and they see what's going on, it could be. It's not. It's a game changing event, and the fact that a kid can graduate high school and go mid-level in a lot of these jobs right out of high school. A lot of their friends who are not going to go to STC, who are not going to go to college, have to figure that out after they graduate.
And a lot of those kids take 5-6 years to figure that out. So 5-6 years down the road from finishing our programs, some of these people are owning their own businesses, or they're running, a team of employees for their business. I mean, they're at they're already in the management by the time, someone who didn't come through our school starts to even think about it. So, it's huge to come in, get through a program. You're going to love what you do. I mean, if you come in with any interest, our instructors are going to engage you and you're going to be excited about it. And then you're going to go out there and you're going to be doing well in a short time.
So you talked a little bit about your wish list of if you could snap your fingers right now and you could add 1 or 2 programs more next year, what would you like to see your campus have?
Well, I'd love to see it have a nice, big, shiny new building with automotive, welding, and the last piece of that pie, I'll go with those 2 to start. If I get a call a day, I get a lot of welding calls. I get a lot of automotive calls. I get a lot of marine mechanics calls. Marine mechanics would be another program, marine technician. We do have a very big program in Sarasota. We have a huge automotive program in Sarasota. We do not have a welding. There's really no welding program. You have to go all the way up to Manatee County or down to Fort Myers, Cape Coral. So there's a huge gap. So I would love to see those 2 programs.
And a big need, isn't there, for welding?
Absolutely. Any of those fabrication fields, again, it's one of those dying breeds of the baby boomers that are aging out, and then there's no one to fill those gaps. And we're going to continue to see that over the next 5-10 years, where these gaps are just huge. And it's going to take some time to fill them, which is going to create more supply issues. It's going to create more, delays in work for people. So we're trying to fill that gap.
And it's going to be an ever ending job. Ever ending. It's not going to never end. We've got the baby boomers retiring at such a huge clip right now. And COVID, you talked about COVID. COVID restructured how people work. They are relocating now and working from home. There's been, I believe there's been more businesses start during COVID than ever before because of the independence people found out that they had to get. And I think that's why it's our workforce is actually hurting, is we've got a lot more people out there who have figured out I can make a living on my own doing this, because they've taken that professional side and really just exploited it again. But the shortage we're going to have because of the baby boomers, it's not even, I don't think we've peaked yet.
And while that's a disadvantage for us as consumers, it's a huge advantage for our students that graduate from the program.
Absolutely.
Because there's going to be such a shortage, they're going to be naming their salaries.
You'd mentioned earlier in the show that $16.50 was the starting pay, and I got to tell you that we saw $16.50 at Taco Bell advertised on the outside of their building.
Mm-hmm.
And so if Taco Bell is willing to pay you $16.50 an hour, I don't even know. I don't even want to know how much a bean. What's that, Carrie? I think Carrie said she needs a raise, Mike.
I'll work on it.
But at $16.50 an hour at Taco Bell, imagine if you just dedicated yourself, and I'm talking to high school students right now. Imagine if you took your junior and senior year, dedicated yourself, you're going to come out of high school not working at Taco Bell and probably making more money than that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Employers have to structure their pay to compete with, going and working. I mean, I don't want to go to a school, get a trade, and then make less than the guy flipping a burger.
Well, I hate to say that, but we were kind of doing that, 15, 20 years ago when everybody was graduating college and there were no jobs, and they were taking less pay and carrying that debt forward with them anyway. So that's given these people another chance to kind of revive and kind of shift into something that they wanted to do all their life too. And really it's economics 101 right now that we're all kind of, yes, what hurts us on the consumer side, man, I got to tell you, if you're a worker looking for a job and you're struggling, it's your fault. Because I don't know where you can't work at this point.
Absolutely. The only thing stopping you from working is a skill, a certificate, a trade, a degree, and we offer a lot of that stuff. So there's no excuse. So
give your contact information again and your location, Mike.
Absolutely. So again, we're right off of I-75 at Toledo Blade at Cranberry. You'll see us right there on the corner. You'll see us coming off the southbound lane. Check us out on suncoast.edu. John's had the website up the whole time here. Everything you want to know about our programs, from how much to how long, to applying for financial aid, to applying to our school. I think we're going from $45 to maybe $25 for application fees starting in July. So not much investment, just to apply and get your foot in the door and then see if you qualify for financial aid. There's no reason. Under $50, you can find out if you get a whole program paid for and get started.
And I just thought of somebody else who, EMT, Jeff Watkins Jr. So, there, and he's in the Northport Fire Department right now.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of names because they add value. They add value every time we personalize this and talk about the people who have done really well through the programs and move forward. But like you said, 60 to 70% of the fire departments out there locally are kind of reaping the reward of our EMT program, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a very strong articulation. We actually are building a whole new fire training center out off of Laurel Road. We're working together with Sarasota County to develop a state-of-the-art training facility to upgrade what we currently have, which will bring that even closer to Northport. So Northport residents will have an even closer drive to attend that school. So you come take EMT with us and transfer to fire at Laurel, and you can even move on to paramedic. So we work so closely with local government because we are part of local government. Again, we're not a private institution. We're at a Sarasota County School District, which is, again, one of the top school districts in the state. And we pride ourselves on that. And we do the same thing at Suncoast.
That's awesome. Well, we've reached the end of the show, but I want to tell everybody, have a great week, or great weekend, right? Be safe out there. Be careful coming home. Let's not use any EMTs out there tonight on 75. Let's let them have a nice, calm night. Get home safe. Give your families a hug, and we'll see you on Monday. Mike, thanks so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right. See you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Hey, slacker. Oh.